Hello all and welcome to our presentation on Aisle Navigate, an easy way to help you to sweep through the supermarket. Our team consists of myself, Adam, Ben and Gareth, and together we have developed this app. But what is Aisle Navigate? Well, as stated by Sandra here, Aisle Navigate is an app that lets you create shopping lists where each item is assigned a category. Then, using these categories and crowdsourced data, Aisle Navigate generates the most efficient path for you to travel around your supermarket and collect all of your shopping. And why did we decide to make this app? Well, first of all, we wanted to help with social distancing, so by increasing the efficiency that people went around supermarkets, they would spend less time inside them overall. Secondly, we wanted a way to guide people round supermarkets they were unfamiliar with, where everything is in a different place to the one they are used to. We also wanted to provide an accessible app to help improve people's experience with supermarkets, and we also wanted to bring some order to the big, vast supermarkets where everything is really spread out. I am now going to pass you over to Adam, who will explain how this app works.
Hi, I'm Adam, and today I have the pleasure of walking you through a demo of our app. So without further ado, here it is. Today we will be following our hypothetical user Sandra through a day using our app, Aisle Navigate. Sandra is an American cat-loving fitness fanatic stockbroker currently residing in Salford, Manchester. Since Aisle Navigate is a progressive web app, she has been able to download it onto her home screen from the browser, and as we can see, there are a variety of items that Sandra has previously input, which are stored on her device using local storage. Sandra is then able to add items to the list. This item will be automatically populated with a category using our database. She can then increase the quantity based on her needs. This list can also be viewed by category. Although Sandra has been living in England for coming up 2 years now, she's been unable to drop the habit of calling crisps chips. For that reason, Aisle Navigate is trying to direct her to the frozen food section for her Walker's cheese and onion. But not to worry. With a simple click on the frozen food category, she can reassign it to a category of her choosing. Sandra is a huge sauerkraut fan, so decides to add this to her shopping list. Unfortunately, this is not yet a product in our database, so when she adds it, she will be immediately asked to assign the product a category. A prompt will then appear asking if she would like to add this to our database for other users in the future. When the list is complete and Sandra is ready to go, she simply scrolls down and clicks Go Shop. She is then presented with a list of supermarkets based on her current location. These items can also be viewed on a map. Sandra chooses to go to Tesco, which is in no way affiliated with any supermarket of a similar name. One of the items on Sandra's list has a category that the selected supermarket does not have. In this case, the cat and kitten category. Sandra can now continue shopping without this item or select a new category for this item. In this case, she selects crafting, as she can buy some yarn for her cats to play with. She also makes a mental note not to shop here again. Based on Sandra's shopping list and chosen supermarket, she is presented with the most efficient way to traverse the shop, visiting all the aisles she needs. This is an overview of Sandra's route around the shop. Any particular waypoint can be pressed to show a list of items that are needed from that aisle. When clicking Get Started, she is presented with her current location and the best route to the first aisle. When Sandra arrives at the aisle, she can click Next List to see a list of items that she needs to collect from this aisle. As Sandra works her way through the aisles, she ticks off the items as she collects them. In between every aisle, she is shown the quickest route to the next aisle. As she is doing this, the trolley at the top of the screen slowly fills. Due to the global pandemic, there has been a shortage of certain items. Today Sandra was unable to pick up toilet roll or flour. If she hits keep items for next time, they will remain on her shopping list for her next trip. A user is also able to add a supermarket. Just enter the name, postcode, the size of the supermarket, and assign categories to the aisles. I hope you enjoyed our demo and meeting Sandra. Now I'm going to pass you over to Ben with the tech stack.
Hi, my name is Ben. I'm going to talk a little bit about the sort of tech we chose to implement during our project. When we set out to design our app, we wanted a particular focus on accessibility and user-friendliness. We therefore wanted to choose a medium that would best reflect this. Through researching various different options, we decided that a progressive web app would be the best and most appropriate choice. As you saw in our demo, our app works exactly like a native app, and this is due to the user's ability to install the app directly from the web page using the criteria set out in a JSON file called the manifest that's stored in our front end. Although the app shares many similarities with a native app from first glance, it also shares a lot of functionality with that of a traditional browser web page. One of the key features of our app, and being a PWA, is its ability to work offline or in poor network conditions with the use of service workers, which intercept network requests without blocking functionality to cache or retrieve data from the browser's cache for the user. We therefore wanted a front-end framework that would be flexible enough to fit around our PWA criteria. Through research on different frameworks, we decided on React, as we found it to be the most compatible with PWAs, and would therefore allow us to easily integrate other front-end tech, such as React Leaflet or Material UI, and this would overall improve the user experience. Furthermore, when designing the supermarket map, we initially considered using CSS Grid and plotting routes based on points within that grid. However, we found that implementing SVG figures alongside HTML sketch allowed us to be more precise with our route mapping without having to sacrifice on design, and again allowed us to be more flexible with our approach. For our backend, we knew we were going to be working with a complex and vast dataset. We therefore set out to find a database that would best accommodate this. We subsequently found, through spiking, that MongoDB would provide this for us. MongoDB allows us to store data in JSON-like objects, which, along with the ease of scalability that MongoDB provides, works well for our dataset, especially when storing our data-heavy supermarket entries. Furthermore, the way in which data can be stored and changed over time using MongoDB allowed us to update our dataset without any huge implications to our database. And as a result of choosing MongoDB, we decided to go with Mongoose for creating our new schemas and managing our database within Node.js. Now my colleague Gareth is going to explain a bit more about our project process.
Hi, I'm Gareth and I'm going to talk about the challenges we faced, what would we do differently, and what's next for Sandra and IL Navigator. The challenges we faced. One of the key concepts to the app was creating an efficient routing algorithm to navigate the user through busy supermarket aisles. We started off by exploring using algorithmic solutions to shortest paths, such as Dijkstra's and A-star. However, these proved to be too computationally heavy for the user experience, so after several days of investigation, we decided to change tack and create our own algorithm that aims to mimic a human approach in making path choices, though this is at a trade-off with movement efficiency. Another challenge we faced was to have a relatively simple representations of supermarkets to facilitate data storage and user customization, but then also be able to render a dynamic and user-friendly path on top. We solved this by creating additional algorithms to generate the SVG paths. Attaining a consistent set of product and category data was also a challenge. Usually this could have been obtained from a Tesco API, but due to current circumstances, this was down. To solve this, we developed our own data sets based on web scrape data from well-known supermarkets. And finally, due to current circumstances, our entire project was completed remotely, and this led us to working in ways which were sometimes suboptimal. I will touch on this again later. What would we have done differently? We had no graphical design experience in the team, so we had to experiment with a few different solutions for rendering the supermarkets, such as CSS Grid before we hit on SVG. This ate up valuable time. Similarly, our solution to developing efficient shopping routes grew organically, and while this allowed us to build a bespoke solution, more initial research and implementation of available libraries would have helped us solve some of the issues we faced more easily. In terms of teamwork, we had some quite long stand-ups that were basically technical meetings in disguise. So whilst it was good that everyone knew what was going on all the time, it was not the most efficient way of working. Our project was also very visual, and working remotely made it more difficult for us to get real-time feedback as we coded. This led to some things taking longer than they normally would. So how would we take our project forward? We planned for and delivered our initial MVP fairly early on, which allowed us to build some additional features that were on our wish list. But there are also some left over. The main feature would be to allow users to port their shopping list between app and desktops, as well as save regular items through a login system. We would also enhance the supermarket building functionality to allow greater customizability and ease of use. And finally, although the crowdsource elements allow fungibility across locations and shop types, partnering with supermarkets to obtain their data would remove the overhead for users and allow for instant access. And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I'm off to go shopping.